Hi everyone, welcome to Starlight Activation. I'm Anthony. So I have some notes, it's like one sentence. But from the last video I did where we talked about stepping into my light, there was something that had a lot more resonance to it than I gave credit at the time it happened. When I told you that when I woke up after doing my prayer meditation while I was on my layover, and I woke up in the Divine and Archangel Michael were, I felt, physically in the room with me, as far as from a spiritual plane, not an actual physical form, but from the spiritual plane. That has kind of like been further enhanced since then. And so the very day after that, I arrived home and I had a kind of unique dream, and I wasn't going to do a video about it because I thought, okay, it seemed like a dream slash a third eye vision, but I wasn't quite sure, and it was real interesting. So I'm going to give you the premise of it. But really the important thing is the fact that, you know how I said in the last, definitely the last video, maybe even one before that, I was going to curb back on watching channeled messages, and I was only going to pay attention to ones that were channeled under my own sign. And I only have like a couple of people that I, watch on a continual basis. And I just watched 2 videos, and what came through just shocked me like crazy. It brought back home my dream. It brought the dream back to the forefront, and also provided me with a lot of answers about my current situation in my marriage that I have, for all intents and purposes, have ended. We're not divorced yet, but I moved away almost 2 years ago. So we're going to tie that together, and please give me pray for me while we're doing this video so that I don't forget everything I need to say, because so much information was covered. I was afraid if I stopped to rewatch everything and to take notes, I would lose my momentum. And I want to get this out on video as soon as possible, because guys, I told you this so many times, that in these videos, once I give this information up to a video, a lot of times I forget it completely, which that part I love, because then I can just move on to whatever my task is next, and I don't have anything hanging over residual, or if I do, there's a reason why it's hanging over. So let's get to the dream. So on, this is now 3 days ago. 3 days ago, I came home from a trip and I took a nap in the afternoon. And during that nap, I had a I remember the premise of the dream. I know that I was recruited for a new position with a team. And everyone on the team had a specific skill set. And I believe my skill set is that I'm a light worker, and that I can easily communicate with crowds because of being a flight attendant. And it sort of was tying into exactly what I do on a plane anyway, when I try to make my customers feel at ease and welcoming them into my plane like I'm welcoming them into my home. It's the same thing I do when I film a video. I feel like you and I are sitting right here together, and I'm just having a conversation with you. That's how I am on a plane. I welcome every single person that comes in, and I make sure they feel welcome because they're coming into my home when I'm at work on an airplane. And I remember the resonance of that, picking that up in the dream itself. Like remember thinking, oh, I know why I was recruited for this, because someone must have seen me in flight and thought I would be a really good person to bring into this team, because you're going to be doing direct work with the public on some type of a speaking stage. And the team was comprised, and I want to say, I think there were 9 members of my team, and there were other teams being put together as well. All I knew about my team is we were all pulled together the day that we all met to go through, it wasn't a rehearsal, but it was a series of tasks that you would do to, not like those cheesy kind to get you familiar with your teammates, but you're like in work groups getting things done that's going to facilitate the job that you're going to be doing later with the public. So it was like prepping, it was like prep work, I guess, it'd be the easiest way to say. And I remember the members on my team. Nobody stood out. I did not, feel like I made like a lasting impression with any of them. We were all still getting to know each other. Days have gone by now. I mean, it could have been, in my dream, it may have been 2 weeks that we were still working together, and I think I was no longer a flight attendant. I think this was a brand new position that I was being offered, and I think I left my job as a flight attendant. But it was also travel was involved, so we were traveling. And from the nearest I could make out, we were either on a train or we were on some type of a private trucking system that had cars that were connected like a train, but different cars, compartments had different reasons for each one of the cars, if you know what I mean. Like they were specialized. It wasn't like something generic. That's why I think it really wasn't a train, but it kind of was like a train in that. So that's the part that was kind of fuzzy about it. Now I know that once we were into this like 2 weeks and I was familiar with everybody, still I couldn't tell you anyone's name. It got down to the point where we were getting ready to have our first live run of whatever we were doing. We were getting to the first destination. And I remember that I had to go into a certain car or cart where there was only like one other person in there, and I had to get something off of the wall that was rather high up. Now I'm 6'3", so I think I grabbed like a short ladder, not a step ladder with just one step on it. It was a ladder, and I went up on the ladder with both my feet and standing on the ladder. And then I take my left leg and kind of wedge it into the corner wall. So I'm close enough to the corner where I can wedge my foot into the corner and balance myself as I stand on the top rung and lift something that's in brackets off of the wall. I want to say it was a sword, and I think it's the sword I've seen Archangel Michael use when I've asked him to cut the cords. He uses 2 swords. One of them is a rounded sword. It's like curved. And so the blade's on one side, but it's all curved and beautiful. And it has this beautiful handle on it. And for some reason, I was getting this sword down. Now the sword is not protected, so the blade is open. And it's big. It's several feet long. And as I'm standing there, the ladder starts to tilt. Because again, we are moving. This, whatever we're in, is moving. And so I'm starting to lose my balance a little bit. And someone grabs me and puts their hands like on my back area, my lower back. And I look down, and it's one of my team members, a guy that's on my team. It's him. And so I recognized him, and I said something like, "Thank you," or "I'm glad you caught me," or something like that. And so I unhook the sword from the brackets that's holding it in, because it's secured to the wall. And I'm starting to come down, slide down, and I'm having to push myself against the wall so I won't fall one direction or the other, even though he's stabilizing me. And this is what he says. As I come down, like 2 steps off the ladder, very clearly, and that's what I wrote down, "I will never let you go or ever let you down." Now, as he started to speak, in my mind, I was getting confused because he's never indicated, and I knew what his intent was. His intent was, this was his This was his love proclamation. That's what it's basically it. His love proclamation towards me. And I was kind of like shocked a little bit because he'd never indicated anything. Like he didn't stand out. He never made his feelings known whatsoever. He was like behind the scenes. He was very stealthy about it because usually I know when someone likes me because my intuition will kick in and tell me, no, nothing, nothing, nothing. And so as I'm coming down and he says the part about, I will never let you down, I knew what he meant. He was referring to my past relationships, that he would never do that. So I stepped down and I've got to have the sword. Now I'm facing him because I've turned around and I'm facing him with the sword in my hand, which is very symbolic because early on in my spirituality, I would claim that I was either the Queen of Swords or the Queen of Wands because I had my sword up for protection. So I was holding the sword, literally. Michael's sword. I was holding it. And I looked at him and I kind of smiled at him. And he's just standing there, he's just serious staring straight into my eyes, like, he's reading my mind or something. And I lean in and I kiss him briefly on the lips. And then as I back up, I realized this flood of emotions just came forward. I mean, it's like, and it was on both of us. You could see it. And I literally put the sword down and put my arms around him and just gave him the biggest kiss. And it's like, I know, I feel the same way. Everything happened in that second. Everything happened in that second. And then that's when I woke up. So when I woke up, I immediately asked, okay, who sent this to me? And what does this mean? And remember, this is just a week after having the conversations about, artificial timelines. But I knew this was not an artificial timeline. This just really resonated really too strongly to me. And so I was talking about it and I was talking through the dream and I was like, okay, I get it. I didn't get the part about the swords yet. I hadn't figured that out yet until I woke up later. So I go back to sleep and I have part 2 of the dream. Part 2 of the dream is us together. And it was quite sexual. So that woke me up. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That woke me up. And then I was convinced somebody was sending me a message. And I felt like the message was, okay, your intuition should tell you that this is what's foreshadowing. This is a foreshadow. It's a new position. This is someone you're going to work with. This is someone you're meeting. And there's this romance is going to blossom. Okay, and so I got that. When I woke up the second time and I'm processing both dreams with my angels and my guides talking to everyone, a song, oh my gosh, hang on. The song popped into my head. It was Barry Manilow. I think it's the one, I think it's Ready to Take a Chance on You. Yes, Ready to Take a Chance Again. And I knew that song was because of Foul Play, the movie Foul Play. Now, why that really resonates with me is because, I don't know if I've told you on this channel or not, I say it on my other channel all the time, that I don't pay, since I'm a flight attendant and I'm not home that often, I don't pay for any type of television service. I get everything off YouTube. And so a couple of days before, the movie Foul Play popped up on my list of movies for me to watch. And so when this song popped into my head, I remembered immediately, Oh, I saw that on my YouTube feed. I remember that's from the movie with Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn in it. And he's talking about he's ready to take a chance on love again. And I read the lyrics and I'm like, oh my God, that's so me, because I would normally be afraid. And so I'm not afraid now. Whatever has happened, whatever karmic cycle I've cleared for this family and for myself, has left me now where I'm not afraid. Once I learned about standing in my own light and believing in my own self, I think that clicked. And that was probably the missing piece of what I was supposed to be acknowledging to my guides. And so then I did. I mean, I've had several prayer manifestations where I've gone out, and you guys know, I've told you before, I like going to the park, but I like it when there's moonlight because I feel really, really strong in the moon. And I've talked about this. I've talked about what's coming forward that I know is going to happen, and I'll talk about it. And I'll talk about the excitement that it's going to be, and I'll talk about the adventure that's about to happen and how exciting it is. But I'm still doing my thing. I'm still, working my channels. I'm loving interacting with my passengers, and I want to be in hermit. I'll be in hermit. But I'm ready to embrace something new coming in that's going to change everything. And so, ironically, the two videos that I watched, and now I have been, for some reason, I'm not going to call it nesting, but I've spent 2 days cleaning, and I'm in a little tiny 600 square foot studio, and you guys can see behind you, there's tanks everywhere. And I got tanks on the other side you can't see. And I got tanks on my bar. So my little studio here is crammed with aquascaping all over the place. And I have been rearranging everything to try to get it more functional for me so that I could actually have room to do the builds that I want to do and be able to film and all that kind of stuff for you guys for both channels. And so I did most of my work getting everything put back, tore everything out, put everything back, rearranged closets. I mean, I did everything. I mean, I tore the place apart to get rid of clutter, and I have a donation pile that I'm going to be taking down to Goodwill. And so after I thought, okay, well, I'll relax, watch a couple of videos, little 20, 30-minute videos, and then, I'll go outside tonight and I'll do my prayer meditation. Well, the readings I had were so spot on. One specifically talked about the divine and Archangel Michael being the closest to me. And everything that was brought up in my reading, two readings, the same information, two readings, two different, you just cannot make this stuff up. They emphasized a card was pulled specifically from Archangel Michael, and then it talked about other areas. This is the divine's message. You are blah 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 blah. Everything was just falling into place, and something that I had complained about before, about how my ex of about 15 years ago has done all this dirty stuff to me, but I never felt like there was balance in the universe. But I finally just gave that up, and I said, whatever you can do to them, just do to them, and I'll be fine with that. Because more of their emphasis is on my current partner. And a lot of things that I haven't totally shared with you guys is that I have felt like my current partner's family is involved with black magic, that is involved with spell work, that actively was trying to keep me blocked and to keep me attached to him for financial reasons. I've said it briefly, but I mean, I really want you guys to understand that I went into my marriage full faith. I love this man. I loved him like I've loved no one else. I thought he had a very pure heart until I realized everything was a lie. Some people aren't going to believe me, but there are people out there that are for your destruction, to take from you, and not just financially, take your energy, keep you bound, disrupt your life for their enjoyment and for their gain. Destiny swapping, to take your gifts, to feed off your energy, especially if you're a light worker. And I believe all this happened to me and many, many, many more things. Like my constant headaches. Like I get headaches that never go away. I, a lot of times have continual digestive problems because of stress and anxiety that I'm under, because of the torturous conditions of my relationship that took me 6 years to get the courage up and leave and to quit trying to fix it. To quit focusing on him and focus on myself. To stand up for myself and to love myself enough to know I needed to move several states away from him to cut that cord. And I didn't even know what cutting that cord meant then. It wasn't until I got away from him and I started feeling the signs of the distance was working in my favor. Now, when I first left, I was so sick all the time, I was barely working, so I had to live off my credit cards. I'm so far in credit card debt, it's not even funny, because I just kept getting sick for no reason. And when I've seen the most progress, it's been like the last 3 months, to where I've been emphatically blocking him, blocking his energy from me and his family's energy from me. And in today's reading, it was all about this individual knows that I know their secrets. They know I can manifest. They know that I know everything. And they're scared now. Because everything they've done, of course, there's going to be a karmic cycle for everyone involved. They tried to take and they tried to do a destiny swap. They tried multiple ways just to keep me bound, just to give enough of a breadcrumb to me every once in a while so that I would stay on the line and be hooked. Well, no one in this realm of this family ever believed I would pull away. And when I regained my own power, that's when the tide changed. When I understood what blocking really meant, and I was emphatic. Now, I would listen to readings that talked about an ex wanting to come back. Yes, his intent is to come back, but it is all fake. But every time it happens, I will sit there and curse like crazy at the television, and I will go into a tyrant right then saying there is absolutely no way is this ever going to be allowed to happen. I won't allow it to happen, because this individual does not have the wherewithal to make any changes in their life. And as a matter of fact, the readings that I listened to today said the exact same thing. They would like to make the changes in theory, but they're unable to make the changes. So therefore they're stuck into their ego like they've always been stuck. And what's happened is that I was a third or fourth option to them, that they thought they would always have me on the back burner. And whenever they needed me, I would come forward and assist in whatever way I had been doing it before, which is sometimes giving them a place to live, helping them out financially, whatever it was, I was always there to do that. Well, now that I've given up all of that, and I've blocked all communication, and it's been so successful right now that they've been shown that they're blocked. Especially a female, which I believe is his mother, which talks about a motherly figure, describes her features, and I believe she's the one that had the connection to the dark magic. And she knows, and she is scared, because they've been shown what they've done, and their justice is coming. Their justice has already started. Now, I have prayed for them to heal and to do the work, and I have no animosity. I have broken the ties with all of them with help from Archangel Michael, and I've released them with light and love back into the universe. So whatever happens to them at this point is of their own making. I've just withdrawn my energy, and by doing and standing in my own energy and in my own power, I am looking the other direction. And I am not going back, and I'm not looking back. So I'm receiving a lot of praise because I've been so strong in my affirmation that deals with this past connection. And I think I've told you guys before that my husband is my twin flame, but he is a fallen twin flame. He should have known about our mission, and he chose not to fulfill it. He chose to live in the ego. That's all he was concerned about. He always that was his main emphasis. And I feel aligned that there is a past life soul that's coming back into my life. Someone that I've met before many, many times, that we shared many lifetimes with, because we're both very, very old souls. And that's who I believe is coming forward for me. And that's whenever I knew, when we talk about Robert and that false timeline, that's how I knew it couldn't be him, because his energy didn't match what I knew in my heart was coming forward for me. This new guy, I don't know his name, but I saw a glimpse of his energy, and he had a pure heart. And it's a balanced relationship. Not one person's not giving more than the other. It's equal. And there's the compatibility, the sexual component. It's like what you would want if you could wish for the type of person to share your life with. And the way I've stated this is, I don't know if I'm older or I'm younger than this person. I don't know how much time I want to have with this person. But I want this last chapter to be the very best it can be, because I know that I'm owed that justice from the universe. It is now time for me to reap the rewards of clearing out this family's karmic curse, which is what I was told it was. And I don't know how I did that, but I did. It may be because I'm the first person that rose to, in my direct family, to finish high school, to go on to university, to become a professional. That may be part of it, because everyone else had things that derailed them along the way, and they took the easier path. And so, not that I want to talk bad about anyone in my family, but I'm the only one that's achieved the level of success that I have. I'm also the only one who's worked as long as anyone has in my family, because most of them had, for whatever reasons, just did not. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but that I'm very proud of. I don't question it, I just acknowledge it, and sometimes I will talk about it in prayer meditation sessions. And then also my own karmic cycle. And the one thing that blew me away tonight is, I've told you guys this before, that as an infant I knew I was abandoned. She specified abandonment 3 times in the reading, one of the readings tonight. Someone had abandonment issues that have overcome those. That's me. I even did that a few days ago again. I was like, if there's anything I'm holding on to, especially that has to do with abandonment, I want that to be released now, because I felt intuition-wise that Archangel Raphael was the one who sent me the dream. And of course, they don't confirm. For some reason, I knew it was Raphael. And I had a reading the day after that, where specifically Raphael's name was pulled and said, Raphael is healing you mind, body, and spirit. And I thought, okay, Raphael also controls the heart chakra. It was Raphael that showed me that my heart chakra was fully open and ready to receive love. So that's a third eye vision that I've had, and that tells me that yes, I am doing the work I need to be doing. Sometimes when I think I'm not doing the work, I think I do it by accident, or maybe my intuition's working at a higher level than even I can understand it. Because I've said this before in a lot of videos. I'll do something, and then the next day I will figure out what I did, because I'll do it instinctively. I'll go through the act of it, and then I find out the reason in a reading the next day or the day after that. It'll pop back up, and that gives me confirmation that what I did was what I was supposed to be doing. So I've quit trying to second guess myself while I'm doing anything. I just know that if I feel guided to do it, I'm going to do it. And especially when it's in any prayer meditation that I go through, in any of those that I go through. The funny thing is, one of the readings talked about I need to get a piece of jewelry that resonates with me and wear it for protection. I had been shopping for a piece of jewelry for days on Amazon, and so I'm wearing it right now. And I've ordered a second one because this has every color, all the chakras right here. So this is the Tree of Life. And so I ordered another one that has a longer chain, because this one I won't be able to take off if I want to travel with it. Because as flight attendants, we go through the chapter, if you have jewelry or anything on, you have to take it off. And I would wear this under my uniform, but the one that I've got that I'm replacing it with is a silver one that it's the white stone. I forgot the white stone's name. Anyway, it's the white stone. It's white stones. And I thought, well, it looks really pretty. It's more me because it's very traditional. I'm not going to wear anything, flashy or anything like that. But I like this, and so I'll wear this around. But so I thought it was interesting. I had been searching on Amazon for something, and then it comes up in a reading. I need to find a piece of jewelry that resonates with me, that I can wear it for protection. And so I love the fact that it's the Tree of Life, and this one has all the colors of all the chakras, because right here next to you is the build called the Tree of Life. So that is how far my spirituality does flow. It does not just flow into this channel, it flows into my aquascaping channel as well. But I was trying to remember if there's anything else other than I have been told I'm on the right path and everything is divine timing, just to relax and just live one day at a time, don't change anything I'm doing, and everything should just work itself out. So I can't give you a date of the timeline. It's when it comes to pass, but I'll know it's supposed to be someone that I meet. Usually at working is what everyone thinks it's going to be, is work. And I keep thinking, well, that could easily be me when I'm working as a flight attendant, because I come across, hundreds of people a day. And so yes, it could be very simple that I would meet someone on a plane, in an airport, whatever. Because anytime a flight attendant's in the airport, people ask you questions all the time. They think you're the Encyclopedia Britannica walking around with every travel-related question that's out there, which is really kind of funny, because a lot of times we have no idea. Just like, they don't tell us stuff like that. But I hope this video resonates with you. You can tell in my attitude that I'm in such a much better place now because I've had closure to the doubts. So I've permanently put the doubts to closure. I did some more, when I was out doing my prayer meditation 2 days ago, I still was talking about the fact that I still felt grounded. Like I feel grounded right now. I can feel the energy of the earth coming through the soles of my feet. So that grounding work I did in the rain, with the rainbow and everything, that's been more than a week ago now. I have to look back on the date and see when that was. But that was amazing. That was such an amazing experience. So even though, I'm going to say this, I'm going to step out and say this. If you are guided to do something that seems out of the norm for you, don't question it. If it's your intuition telling you that, go with it. Go with it and see what happens and send me a message. So, whether you see me on the plane as your flight attendant or on the next video update, I'm wishing you guys nothing but light and love, and you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.